Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Truck Talk and Time with Jesus. Home sweet home. Right. What it feels like. Went on and looked at some of the reviews from other than the emails, I went on there and read some of the reviews for the trucking videos that I did, and really got some good comments and really got some interesting things. I know Amber, I think I remember you talking about on another video, you going out with your husband and stuff. Well, ex-husband now, but better be careful with that word. But I'm just joking. And honestly, sometimes I guess I can gather why people think I go a little extreme sometimes. And like I said, I'm not going to back away from Lucifer. I'm not going to back away from the devils, and I'm sure not going to back away from Satan. And not saying that I'm better than anybody else. I just care not to, because I've followed that darkness for so long. I just refuse to give him an inch and allow people to go on there, because there's many things that we could be talking about that's more important right now than whether or not I'm going to go to heaven or hell. I do appreciate people's concerns, and I did, whoever, I just simply asked a question because I like to address them as male or female. Doesn't really matter what they are or what they claim these days. It's the fact that I was just trying to be polite, and not offend somebody. These days it happens a lot. We look at where the world is and where we're at, and people, if you really got to be right now getting kind of disgusted with everything you're seeing. I mean, there's no way that we could sit here and look at the economy, look at how we are and where we're at on this forward walk. So, I got an email, and I'm just going to share a little bit what this person wrote. I mean, it was kind of lengthy, but I don't care, and there's a few people that used to write long ones, and I didn't. It didn't bother me, but it took me a while to get back to read it all, to reply to it all, and that's the only thing I was saying. And there's a lot of people that I still got to get back and reach out to, and I appreciate everybody's patience. I started out not having a lot of comments and a lot of people on here, and I was constantly on there, and it does take up a lot of time, so I do appreciate your time. But as far as the trucking goes, yes, it does take a lot out of you. I mean, it takes a lot through the day. You got to deal with weather. You got to deal with loads. You got to deal with, like yesterday, I delivered the load, waited 10 hours, and ran out of time, and then did a 10-hour break on top of that so I could sleep to get up this morning, and I get back there, and it started over again, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. I'm not sitting up here in Delaware for another 10 hours and go to sleep for 10 hours to get up and do it, because tomorrow's my actually go home day, celebrating Darlene's birthday a little bit early because I'll be out on the road. And that's what I was trying to get across there. If you got young kids at home, or if you got a family that you can't be away from long periods of time, then trucking's not it. I mean, it's surely not it. But I wrapped up the heaven video, so I'm going to be putting that on. I'm hoping to do it, probably not Wednesday because we're doing the birthday party, but either Thursday or Friday. By Saturday for sure, you'll see it uploaded. Anybody that wants to watch it. And again, it's just how I look at it and how I do my walk, but I bring the Bible into it. I mean, I'm doing it straight out of the Bible, people. I'm not making up my own rules here. I'm doing as Jesus walked. Somebody asked me about being baptized. Absolutely. I mean, think about it. If Jesus did it, then it's important. Otherwise, why would we have to be baptized? Look at Nicodemus, what he said to him. You must be born again. And Nicodemus said, well, surely I'm a grown man. How do you expect me to go back into my mother's womb to be reborn? So you got to look at that. And Jesus says, be baptized of the water. And what did John the Baptist say in the times that he was going to? I shall baptize you with water, but he who's coming shall baptize you with the Spirit. He was speaking about Jesus. And what did Jesus do? When Jesus was baptized, Jesus came up out of the water. You heard that they said it fell upon him like a dove. It doesn't mean it was an actual physical dove. It fell upon him like a dove. And the Father spoke. This is my Son, I am well pleased. Well, this is my beloved Son, for whom which I am pleased. And it goes on and on. That's John 3:16. You go into these areas of the Bible, and it speaks a lot. It speaks about the temptation. And all this is going to be in that heaven video. I'm going to go into it a lot more deeper into that, and how to resist temptation, and how to walk away from things that are no good in our lives. People, pretty much my whole family I've walked away from. And God just keeps showing me the pain, the suffering that you got to go through. And to me, it's not worth it. It's totally not even worth it anymore to even try to reach out because water and oil don't mix. And we all know that. If you're going to get your oil changed at a car dealership or oil change place, or your spouse changes oil, whatever, wherever you get your oil done and however you get it done, would you walk up to there? Now, I'm sure everybody can understand that cars run on oil. So everybody can relate to this. If I walked up there and I just got to changing your oil, I drained all your oil out, changed the filter, and I walked up with the garden hose and started sticking it into where your oil goes, what are you going to say? I would expect somebody to say, what are you doing? It's not the radiator. Well, really, you're not even supposed to put it in the radiator. Because water don't go in there. Antifreeze, 50-50 mix. Because you put plenty of water in there, comes winter times, it's going to freeze up. It's either going to crack your block, or it's going to bust out freeze plugs, and you're going to be in a whole different world. And being that it's winter time, you're going to pay extra because they know you need your car. That's why I tell people all the time, during the summer, start turning your furnace on. You think it sounds crazy, but you'll start to know if you're going to have furnace problems. Now's the time to get it fixed. Not in the middle of the winter when everybody's calling them and they're going to wait because they're going to charge you after hours charge. Trust me, I've been in the HVAC long enough to know how the heck it works. It's a killer racket. I mean, it truly is. For the most part, I was pretty good at it. But for the most part, there's a lot of stuff that I just never could get the hang of it too well. And that was recovering the Freon out of the machines and holding it to where I could pump it back in when I was done working on the compressors or, whatever. But anyways, let's get back to reality here. I mean, I could tell you so much about my life, you'd probably fall asleep. Boredom. But, so, in this email, I'm reading it, and they're saying, Nelson, at this point, you've gone back and forth with saying Biden at the time, but then I also said no on Biden because Biden won't be in place. Now, I did speak that on a video, and they actually did come back and say, yeah, I did find the video that you actually did say that Biden wouldn't finish. And look, whether or not Kamala gave us her plan of what she's going to do, I guarantee you she's going to do what she's done for the last 3.5 years, people. I guarantee it. Trump, it was on the Google thing. You know when you open Google, it sees on there. I guess Trump was reported saying if he doesn't win this election in 2028, I believe 2028, because this is 25, 26, yeah, it'd be 28. 28, he's not going to run no more. Well, he said probably wouldn't run, but it's Trump. I mean, by that time, you add another 4 years to him, most likely he wouldn't be able to anyways. Why would he? Why would you even want to at that age? I mean, what is Trump, in his 70s? He's got to be. I mean, why would you want to? It's like Joe Biden. Why why in the world would you even want to run? Why would you even try to go for a second term? It's totally beyond me. I mean, it truly was. But now we got the vice president, and then you look at all the immigrants over here. You look at all the stuff that they're saying is fake. They're saying it didn't happen. Well, we just seen people testifying that people are eating animals in Springfield, Ohio. So what does that tell you? So whoever is in control over there is a liar. Doesn't surprise me. Half the people in this world lies. You know, Darlene and I was talking, I think it was yesterday, about white lies and stuff like that. And I was in prayer with the Lord going over our grade cards, like you would get in school, you know. And my thing is you got to really think about this for a split moment. When the Lord told me that there isn't one person on this earth that has not lied. There's not one person. Not one person. Think about this. I'm not talking about him. Besides him. Because I know some of you might run in a different direction with this. No, I'm not talking about Jesus. I'm talking about there is not one person on this earth that has ever walked this earth that is born of man and man. And I know he was born of woman. I'm not saying that at all. This is going bad real quick because I can just see somebody's going to say, other than Jesus Christ, and I'm just going to say it and say it and say it until it sinks in. Other than Jesus Christ, out of the picture of Jesus never had to come to earth. There would be nobody still today, from the beginning of Adam and Eve to today, that has never lied. That everybody has lied about something. Isn't that something? So I started thinking about it. You look at Abram. He lied. David lied. David lied lots of times. Just to cover up lies. He lied so many times to cover up lies that them lies need to be covered up, and those lies need to be covered up. I mean, it doesn't stop. That's why the Lord says that you be a person of few words. Because if you're in a situation where you walk in and people are talking, what we call gossip, and you walk into it, then you sit down before you know it, you're doing it, and I guarantee it, everybody in that room is going to listen to what you said, and everybody's going to comment on what you said, and it's going to get back to the person, and they're not going to care about what anybody else says because you're the one person that they thought they could trust. That's usually how it works, because that's how Lucifer works. Rob, kill, destroy. Put your name and kill it. So, the question was, what do I think? I personally think Donald Trump, and I've also said Donald Trump stands a good possibility against Biden. And he would have. He would have knocked Biden right out of the park without a shadow of a doubt. Now, here's where the situation changes. Now, you got to understand, as it changes, you know, just like when God tarries about something, somebody's like, well, why is he letting us go through this? Because what changes? Prayer. If people are praying, it changes where we're at. Look at Moses. Moses pleaded with God, went back and forth. Some said argue, whatever, but he went back and forth with them. If you do this, people are going to see you as this kind of God, this kind of Father, whichever you prefer to say. They will see you this way. Now, was Moses' intentions true? That he cared about the Father that much? That he was worried about what people were going to say or think about him? Or was it the fact that he wanted whatever was the situation to be his way? We don't know. We just know what the Word speaks. But we also know that Moses didn't enter the Promised Land at the very end either. Doesn't mean he's not in heaven. I'm just saying that was his punishment. So, disobedient, there is punishment. Now, you may make it into heaven, but you may not be very close. You may be, like I said before, you may be California and Jesus is up where Maine is. Well, you still got to travel that distance. Now, in heaven, there's no time limit. There's no time. So you really wouldn't know if it took you a century to get there or if it took you 10 seconds to get there. You'd never know. But in reality, I'm just trying to give you a way of thinking about how far away that some people can be. And doesn't mean Jesus don't love you, but there's consequences for everything we do, and there's discipline for everything we do. You're going. If we never got discipline as a child, would you know? You wouldn't care what you've done. I guarantee you may have thought about something as you did it, but I mean, you may not have thought about something as you did it, but afterwards, you knew what was coming. I remember one time when I was little, we lived in Copley. My dad was still with us, and we had this blue station wagon, and it had the shifter thing on the column, and that thing was. I remember my dad always fiddling with it when he was starting the car, and it would easy come out of gear, and so we had a slight little hill. When you're a kid, that thing seemed like a monster hill. I mean, it seemed like the tallest hill ever. Because I used to pedal my big wheel up and down that dang thing. I'd go flying down it, get all the way down, and pull the blue lever on the side, because they had a little toolbox thing in the back. That's where I put all my good finds when I was out going around trash digging, looking for toys. Anything good I put in there. The wagon, man, I found this little bolt thing, and there was like the seat holes where you can move up. So I put that down into with some cloth to hold it in place, and wrap my rope and stuff around that and around the seat and stuff. But I was acting like I was a truck driver. Even then, even as a young boy. Because I'd watch trucks and I'd always be so amazed by them big trucks. Today, I'm still amazed by them, but not as much as I was then, I guess. But, so, you look at today, what's happening with today. Now you look at all the immigrants, you look at all the people they allowed to come over here. You people, I guarantee it, if she wins, which I believe she's going to, I truly do believe at this point she's going to win. Gas prices, as soon as she wins, food's going to score through the roof. It's going to get higher than what it is now. The gas prices, you notice all of a sudden, because numerous people at her campaigning talked about gas prices. Now all of a sudden, everywhere you're looking, I mean, it's best to go out and buy a bunch of gas cans and start filling them up. I mean, you might get at least one good fill out of it for cheap, out of all the gas that you're filling up. Don't know. I'm just saying that they're just going to rise it right back up. All these stimuluses and all this garbage, people, it's going to come out of our money somewhere. It's going to come out of the taxes. They're going to re-tax us. They're going to up probably your mortgage rates and all this stuff. And I mean, whatever. It's like our payments just keep going up and up and up. It's like every time you turn around, property tax, this tax, some tax, something's going up, and you're just sitting there shaking your head like, wow. But then I go online and look at how much apartments and stuff are renting for, and think about all the nonsense I had to deal with in there. And, not just me, but Darlene too, but my gosh, people, it's coming back quickly. I guarantee it. Within 2-3 days, you're going to see the fuel prices. I wouldn't be surprised if the fuel prices don't hit between $4 and $6. Easy. I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if all these gas... I mean, you go down the road and you're looking at 5 different gas stations in the same area, and they're all different prices. I mean, some of them's like 2 cents difference, 3 cents. I seen one by my work was 5 cents difference. How the heck is that possible? You're in the same area. The taxes you can't be paying no more taxes than the person down the road for you to be charging what you're charging. It's gouging. You remember back in the day, you could never get away with that. Today you can. Because today we're living in an upside down world. Today we're living in a world that you can identify as a cat and go up in the front of the classroom and go to the bathroom. I was going to say take a dump. Or take a crap, whatever you want to say. But you can go right up there and do that. Purr around somebody's feet and be petted and purr and do all this nonsense. Or you could be a grown man that enters into sports. And here in Ohio, oh yeah, whatever his name is, Sharon Brown or whatever his name is. Nonsense. Some of the stuff I've been hearing about this guy. And that just shows you how much I pay attention to politicians. I don't. I could care less what any of them does. Because it doesn't affect me. You know why it doesn't affect me? Because Jesus Christ. That's why. I put my faith and trust in Him that He's going to feed me, clothe me, provide shelter over me. The same as what the Bible says. Even the lilies have clothing. You know, the birds have shelter. Everything eats. So why would we? How much greater more are we than of that? So I hold to that, and I know they ate manna. They had water come out of rocks when Moses' time, and they got tired of that. They complained and complained and complained. So He gave them quail. Then they still complained, and then the snakes come and got them, and then the ground opened up, and a lot of them fell into a hole into the ground and got swallowed up. So maybe that's what God needs to do again. Maybe God needs to just open up this earth and people start falling into the earth, into the core of the burning pit of the core of the hottest part of the earth in the core, and people need to start dying, and people need to stand there and watch it, and God should make people watch this nonsense that they're doing, because that's exactly what it is. We want to talk about abortions. We want to talk about this. I mean, for crying out loud, people, I mean, it's if you got a heartbeat, you're alive. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I might not be a doctor, and I sure ain't no nurse. And I mean, there's guys nurses. No, come on, there is. I actually know a couple. I haven't talked to them in a long time, but I actually do know two guys that are nurses. No, they don't wear skirts. They don't wear that. I don't even think they wear skirts and stuff anymore. I think that was way back in the day. But because I think everything's scrubs and all that stuff now. But, you know, we got nurses on here. Darlene's, you know, she was a nurse. She got into that surgery part of it too, which I think is totally disgusting. Here's the weird thing. I could actually, if somebody got cut, I know a guy that actually ripped himself open with a chainsaw. He was cutting and took the blade right into and cut his leg open bad. And the only thing he cared about, he had brand new pants on that day. And the guy worked most of the day until he got so pale and was ready to pass out. And at that point, we had to call the paramedics, and they rushed him to the hospital. He almost died. And the crazy thing is we've never seen him again. I don't know whatever happened to him. Which I'm kind of glad, because the guy was a loose cannon. I mean, truly was. But, so I do believe that, in a way, I'm hoping I'm right on this point. On this one, I used to say, "Man, I can't wait till I finally am wrong on something," but I am actually hoping I'm right. I'm hoping I'm right, because this is going to bring in the destruction. You know, you look at Israel, you look what's happening over in Israel right now, and you look at. We all know Jerusalem's not going to be touched, but I mean, it's increasing. That war is getting so hot and heavy over there right now. It's crazy. I mean, it truly is crazy what's going on over there. But these are signs of wars, rumors of wars. These are the wars that are happening. These are the events that need to take place. And just like these immigrants that are over here right now that are living up a high life, that are free, but, you know, look at them. I mean, they're eating animals off the streets because they're running out of money, and the government ain't doing much about it, because their time here is almost done. They're going to be useless to them. Just like when the calling up is, you're called upwards. If your name is written and you are accepted at that time to be called upwards, you look at it and go. Once they leave, you know, a lot of these sinners are going to be swept right into hell, right along with the people going. Because remember, Lucifer copies everything God does. So you think he's not going to need all these people. He's not going to need all these sinners out here, because he don't need them anymore. You know why? Because now it's free for him. He doesn't have to go and ask God for anything, because now the Antichrist is in control. See, Lucifer is in control of the world. It's God's. Everything in it belongs to God, but God handed it over. Satan runs this thing like it's his own convenience store. Whatever's convenient for him. Well, where does he get the authority from? Lucifer. And if you think that's not true, then I recommend you go into the New Testament, the new books, testaments, right? Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, am I even saying this right? Go into Mark, go into Luke, go into John, go into Matthew, go into Peter. I mean, it all speaks the same thing. Go read the 40 days in the wilderness, what Jesus went through. Well, what does he say? What does he say? Get behind me, Satan. For it is written. But he also speaks in there, and depending on which Bible you're reading and the translation of the Bible, it also speaks that from the beginning, he was present. Makes sense, because Lucifer was pregnant. He might have been. I mean, look, he's into all this transgender garbage and all that. Present, and so was Satan. You know how? I know, because Satan went into the garden. Not Lucifer. Satan. Who do you think tempts you most of your time? It's not Lucifer. It's Satan. Because Lucifer knows his time isn't yet, just like with God and Jesus. What did Jesus say? What did he say to his mother? Well, what concern is this of yours? This is not yet my time. Go and tell no one, because this is yet not my time. But then as soon as he said it was his time, look how fast Jesus worked. So you think about it, even when Satan stood there and says, look out as far as you can see. All these things was giving to me. If you bow before me, I have the authority to give them to you. I have the authority to give them to you. So if you think Satan isn't in control of the devil's playground out here, you're sadly mistaken. What are you going to do when there is no connection to heaven? Because it'll be turned off, basically. Because Jesus is going to be reigning with his people. And there's no need for God to look down upon the world, because why? The only way you're going to show your worthiness is you're going to be beheaded. How many people, if I stood 100 people up, and the first one went in there and said, man, forget this, because you're going to be here a little bit before this stuff starts happening. Because, they got to come to a peace treaty, which ain't going to take them long to do that. Think about it, because they're the ones behind it. They're the ones getting all these other countries fired up to do this stuff so they can form one world order, one currency. We're getting ready to go into all that as soon as she takes office, people, because we all know who's coming to run the presidency again. The same person's been running it. And it's not Joe Biden, and it sure ain't Kamala. Hasn't been. Go back to the magic show where the left hand's doing this, but the right hand, you lost track of it. I don't really care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. We got Republicans that are wicked, just as wicked as the Democrats. So what difference does it make? You got good Democrats. Not all Democrats are bad. Not all Republicans are bad. Not all of them are good. If we lined up 10 people, you could get a Heinz 57 somewhere in the middle and go, yeah, they're 50-50. Big whoopee-doo. What does that do for us? Look at Lindsey Graham. Look at John Kerry. John Kerry won, but then he sold out. Come on. Had a real comfy seat. How much time did he actually spend going to work? How much time there's really any of them? I mean, my gosh, look how much time they spend golfing on our taxpayers' money. We should be able to vote on war. We should be able to vote if we want to send thousands of dollars. Who helps us rebuild? I really want to know. If somebody came over here right now, let's just go to the fake 9/11. Who helped us rebuild? The Taliban? Nope. Saddam Hussein. He was probably. I think he was already dead then. Osama bin Laden. Didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, but I don't ever recall in anything I read after the cleanup and all that crap that took place. I don't recall anybody coming over here and donating thousands of dollars like we do to all these countries. Now, let me tell you right now, I know there's a lot of people that believe in the Africa thing and getting running water, fresh water to everybody. I'm all for fresh water too. I'm glad they're getting fresh water, but people, we got so many people on the streets over here, and I know a lot of them don't want the help. I agree with that, but there is people that are in need. There is women out there with their children. There is scared people. We got a bigger problem here in the United States, and we're sending all this money overseas. Africa isn't that bad off, people. It's not like what you see on TV back in the day with them Ethiopians and stuff. You realize a lot of them, their stomachs are like that. I mean, because it's nutrition, or however you pronounce it. I do apologize, but but it's a lot better now. I mean, they got McDonald's in almost every corner over there now. It's not that bad off. I worked with a couple people that they both became registered nurses. They started off as an STNA. They were going through school. They become an LPN, and from LPN they just kept studying and become an RN. They left the nursing home because they got jobs elsewhere at some hospital somewhere. But they both were from Africa, different parts of Africa. That was the amazing part. And I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me both of you, but they knew each other, but they lived on different parts in Africa. And they said, it's not what you see on TV. It's not even like that. There is some poverty areas and stuff still, but for the most part, it's so developed now. Even the safaris and stuff, they're losing those lands. And that's why a lot of animal attacks and stuff, because it's the same thing over here. We just keep building and building and building. What the hell are we building for? Why are we building all these new buildings? Farmland is being taken away. We're building more homes, but we're building them so doggone expensive. Who the heck can afford it? Why don't we build a bunch of freaking little cottages and allow these people that are on the street, and don't give them an option? If they're going to stand out there and hold signs, it's no different than the prisoners and stuff. I'm telling you right now, you want to stop theft, you want to stop crime, you start putting these prisoners to work. You start sending these prisoners over to war. They're not going to leave. Where are they going to go? You're an American. You're going to die. You have no information. You're useless to them. Even if you had information and you leaked it, you're still going to die because you're useless to them. If you're a woman, most likely they're going to rape you and repeatedly rape you and do bad things to you. And I'm sorry, but that's just how war is, and that's how disgusting that the evil entities are. So you better believe that all these people are going to be shipped out of here. The ones that are still in the circulation. I spoke years back, I think it was last year or the year before, when I started doing these, that they were already here on the soil. They already started setting up camps and stuff all over the United States. Because when their time's coming, they're just going to give signs and they're just going to attack all at once. We're going to be hit so hard. It's going to be everybody was so shocked by 9/11. Well, this is going to be worse than 9/11. There's going to be a lot of people dying. Kids, adults. It's not. These people don't care. These people give glory to their God, and they're going to get all these virgins and all this stuff. To be honest with you, if that's all you had to look forward to in life is sex with a virgin, you got bigger issues than really, because damnation is worth that. There is nothing on this planet. There isn't a food on this planet. You can line up, and I'm telling you right now, as God is my witness, stop my tongue. If I am lying, let him stop my tongue. You can line up the most 100 beauty queens, pageant people, any people that people go goo goo gaga over, movie stars, whatever. You can line up 100 people, and I would turn around and walk away. Now, I know some people may say, well, as if. Well, as if. I'm just saying, if it was guaranteed, you could line up 100 people and I would turn around and walk away. You know why? Because my spirit and my soul is connected. My heart and my mind, well, my mind and my heart is connected. I'll be darned if I'm going to allow anybody to send me to hell. Because, let's face it, sex only lasts so long. Once it's done, you're done. See what I'm saying? Was it worth it? Think about it. What you're doing in life, is it worth it? Worrying about stuff, worry does not come from God. Worry comes from the devil. If you're worried about things and you're one of them people go, well, I'm worried about what's going to happen. I'm worried about what's going to happen to my kids. Well, stop worrying, because if you would have been worried before, your households wouldn't be such a mess. Darlene was just telling me today about a guy that one of their children died, and the wife went and had an affair, and now they're getting divorced. I said, well, I've been talking about this for a year now, nonstop. Get a hold, man. Get a hold of your families. Get a hold of your household. You know, and if some of you are single, you got to step up and take that role, and you got to take both. You know, don't stop trying to rush into things. You know, I've always said taking a chance is something that a lot of people don't do. I'm all about it. I have taken more chances in life, and I have taken more steps out into places that the uncomforts of life. And when the Lord told me, I can't use you in the comfort, I need you to stay in the uncomfort. You know, I don't care what the Lord asks me to do. I will do it. I don't care what the world thinks about it. I don't give a crap what people say. Yes, it's hurtful. The more that He molds me and sculpts me, and the more that He makes me this tenderness, you know, that took me a long time to get used to it, because I never had these emotions and these feelings and really gave a crap about anything. But today I do. I'm just looking at my watch, because I know sometimes people say, well, you're looking down, you're reading the scripts. And so I ain't reading no scripts. It's stuff's in my head. Always, constantly, I'm thinking about this stuff. You know, constantly writing down stuff. So, speaking of writing down stuff, I actually found the rest of the tablets. I got to finish going through there. But I really am excited about doing this heaven video. I truly am. I'm really... I can't wait till it airs, and I can't wait to see everybody's thoughts on it. Not that, don't take me wrong. It's not about pleasing people, but I always like to make sure the content, that it came out the way that I wanted it to come out, and that people understand it. Because let's face it, a lot of times it's here, but it takes me a minute to get it, and that's why I jump all over the place sometimes, and I come back because I forgot to add something, or I was thinking it, but it didn't. I remember that I didn't say it, so that's why I do what I do. And again, you know, if you don't like it, A, you don't have to watch the channel. B, then go take it up with Jesus, because He's the one molding and sculpting me, and I am today where I'm at today in my walk with Him, because this is exactly where He needs me, and this is exactly how He needs me. Just like I wouldn't second guess or judge how you are, because we're not supposed to do that, which you're going to hear in the heaven video. The heaven video, I guarantee it, I'm probably going to have to break it down in two, but I'm going to try to keep them about 30 to 45 minutes. That's why I keep looking at my clock, because I gather I go too long on these videos, because not only does the weekly the weekly take shows how long people actually tune into certain videos. So my thing is, I'd rather do 2 or 3 videos on it than go an hour, 2 hours, and people get nothing out of it, because by that time I'm sure they're probably tuned out. Not me, man. If I'm interested in something, I could sit there forever and listen to it, because it's interesting to me. What was I going to say? Come on, help me out. What was I going to say? I am the from the I am. That's what Jesus told me. I am the I am from the I am. Sometimes the other night I asked him, I said, I don't know why I was even born, Lord, because it's been a rough road. And even people, I do have a point where, I struggle because I feel sometimes, the old past of me wants to come back. And I'm telling you right now, that fears me. That puts fear down my spine, like me thinking about God's going to send me to hell if I don't do the right things. I don't ever want to go back to hell. I mean, I go there if the Lord takes me, or if I'm in a vision of it, or if I'm going through the spiritual part of it. But it's a lot different when you're in the spiritual than earthly body, because you're in spirit, and I know it can't keep me, because Jesus paid the price. He robbed that grave back. He took my name off of that grave when he went to the cross and buried all them sins into hell. All I have to do is stay on the straight and narrow path and ask him daily. Today's a new day. There's no sin in this day. I've not sinned yet. Notice I said yet. Do I sin during the day? Yeah. I try not to. I mean, it's nothing bad. It's most of the time it's my thoughts. Or being upset. And it's like, as soon as you turn around, I hear the phone going off, and then when you start looking at it, I don't even open most of these text messages because I can read the majority of the part of what they're saying. And I already know that I'm not even going to go there. I don't care who it is. I'm not even going there, because I'm not going to sit and listen to no more people's opinions, because they're cowards and they don't want to stand face to face to you. You know why? Because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know if Lucifer is going to speak. They don't know if God's going to speak. They don't know if Jesus is going to speak. But either way, they don't want to be condemned. Because if you're condemned in front, you may just end up in hell right there. Or you may hear in the end, be gone from me, I do not know you. I don't care what kind of good deeds you do, good works you've done. It doesn't matter if you're getting glorified by man. This too will be told in the heaven video. In preparation each day. Each day. It's a daily devotion. It's a daily meditation of the Word and reading the Word, being silent and letting Him tell you where He wants you to go into the Bible. And it's up to you. It's up to you how much time you're going to put in there. Also, it's going to be in the heaven video. But anyways, yeah, it's getting about a 45 minute. And I know some of you may go, Nelson, just speak, just keep going, whatever. If that's what you guys want, that's fine. But I don't want people to be overwhelmed, and I sure don't want people to have to keep coming back and watching videos over and over and over. Unless you want to. I mean, that's great. And I do appreciate the people who've been sharing the videos. I have seen that. Canada, you guys are awesome, man. You guys are picking up that pace. I mean, you're actually United States was by far the biggest, but I mean, Canada's coming up there. It's weird because United States is most of the people that watch these videos here in the United States are men. Most of the people in Canada are women. It's crazy, but it's cool in the same concept. Africa, they're China. I think China. I don't know. I think it might have fell off because I haven't seen it on there in a while. But there's a lot of different countries, and I'm glad. And that's all because you guys have been liking them and new subscribers. And but it's weird because I can see the people that's constantly watching them. You know how you got that little bubble that with your picture in it, or like in my case, it's just purple N. But you can actually see that, and it's like weird how when I go on there, I already know the people that I'm going to see. It's crazy. And a few of them are not even here. Most of the ones that are on there are from foreign countries, not even here. I mean, there's only a few that are United States, and I don't even recall if they ever even left a comment, to be honest with you, because I don't remember them leaving comments. But they're faithful. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's like every single video. I mean, it's crazy. I don't think I could listen to myself on every single video. I'm just kidding. But I'm just trying to have a little bit of humor in this one because I know the last few has been kind of heated, and but I'm not ashamed of it. I truly am not ashamed of it. I don't care. If that's how God wants me that day, that's how it's going to come. And I'm not going to apologize to anybody. You know, again, you know, I'm raw, and I don't know all the big words, and I don't know all that. And God has sent me to come to people that of all different intelligence, because I'm sure some of these people on that are on there are very intelligent. And I'm sure some of them are like me, going, wow, well, at least I understand what you're saying, because I live it. A lot of people have said they're tired of listening to my family come into everything, or people I know that they don't know what difference does it make, because this is how Lucifer's winning. And I think the people that are saying this are the very people that's being convicted. I truly do. But then again, what do I know? I just know what I know that from what the I am gives me. So, where is I going with all this? Live event. I'm going to do another live event real soon. So I'll keep you updated. Probably in one of the heaven videos, I'll probably let you know, because I'm going to dig right back into the tablets right after that, unless God has something else in store. But if not, I'll continue reading out of there and giving you the scriptures, and hopefully people are writing down the scriptures and actually going in there reading them themselves. And I think it's amazing how he gives me all these scriptures, but the cool thing about the amazing part about that is all them scriptures are on the same topic. And if you really think I can go through this Bible and pull out all those kind of scriptures and on the same topic, people, no, you got the wrong person. I know where the majority of the stuff is in the Bible, but I sure couldn't pick out certain scriptures and go, well, here he is, it's in this and this and this. Let alone do I have enough time to sit here and do all that. And I know it sounds funny because we're talking about God, but I mean, I do work, and I do a lot of, I'm constantly doing as much as I can do. And which kind of sucks, because I know I got to stay home sometimes and do things, and because it's just how it is. I mean, Darlene got me an awesome wood splitter, and I've been splitting and getting the wood ready for winter. Leaves are starting to fall. I still got tree branches I got to get cut up, and I still got a tree that I at least like to take off a couple branches off of it before winter gets here, only because I just don't want it to come down on the garage. And I've called people to come out and look at it, but they give me ridiculous prices. I mean, it's like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. One guy wanted $5,000. I'm like, I'm not paying you $5,000 to cut this tree down. I'll go rent a lift and get in there and cut the tree in 1,000 pieces before I pay you that kind of money. And go rent a dumpster and just throw the dang on the branches in there and keep the biggest parts of the wood and split it. I can use it for firewood or camping. I can build me a log cabin. Or I can build an ark. If I build an ark, don't get on. We're liable to be like the Titanic. But anyways, 50 minutes, I'm done. Comment. Let me know you guys' thoughts. And I am going to introduce... Darlene had a good idea. Because a lot of people call Darlene Dar. I don't know. At first I'm like, what are they calling you? And she said it was just something they do. But and there's even people that just call her that didn't even grow up with her. That most of the people that I've ever heard people call her that was people that she grew up with. But okay. So it made sense. There is a girl puppet and there's a boy puppet. So she says, well, why don't we just go Dar and Nell? Now, granted, there's only a handful of people that has ever called me that, and at first I was against it. I was like, I'm thinking in my head. Now, I didn't say nothing to her. If she watches this video, she can be like, why don't you say something? Because at first I was just thinking in my head, going, I don't know. Then it pops in my head, going, I'd rather do that because then you can't get somebody to go, well, you're making me look stupid. That's my name, and you're using my name. So I'm glad that she said it now because it makes total sense now. It didn't at first, like, it's like naming your dog after you. Like my sister named her dog after my daughter. And I was kind of pissed by that. I was like, why would you name your dog that? So every time I went over there and she'd yell Sarah, I thought she was talking about my daughter. I'm turning around going, what? What'd she do? No. It's her dog. Who does that? It'd be like me going to get the ugliest dog ever. I mean, the ugliest of all dogs. And calling it her name. And then telling it to come here. I'm sure she'd be pretty upset by it. Because that's just how it rolls. But anyways, that's where we're going. And I was going to touch a little bit more on the prophecy parts that the Lord gave me, but I think I'm going to wait till the live event to do that. And trust me, it'll be before this election. So in the meantime, pray. Pray, 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 pray for God's will. That's all I'm asking you. If you pray nothing else, just say, God, whatever your will is in this situations that are going on with these wars and these elections, whatever it is, all I say is, God, Father, whatever your will is in this that's going to bring your son quicker to this earth to get us out of here, by all means. That's what I pray for to be done. Your will, not mine. Not my thoughts. So God bless you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for the comments on the trucking. And it was pretty cool. I think I might have actually answered somebody on the trucking one. I can't remember. But either way, God bless you guys. Till the next one.